Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Casmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. A day after Speaker of Parliament declared 4 seats vacant, the former Majority Leader Alexander Apanyumarkin accuses the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, of doing the bidding of the opposition NDC. We'll bring you more of that press conference organised by the NPP side of the House also coming up. University Teachers Association of Ghana, Utah calls on government to commence immediate prosecution of individuals arrested for illegal mining activities commonly known as galamsey. And much later on the program, security agencies on high alert in Boko in Upper East region following the lifting of an arrest warrant on the paramount chief of Boko, Naseidu Abagri. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, this afternoon, the NPP leader in Parliament, Alexander Apanyumarkin, has come hard at the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, for what he describes as blatant partisanship, accusing him of doing the bidding of the opposition NDC. Apanyumarkin expressed disappointment, stating that despite Bagbin's extensive experience, he had allowed chaos to mar Parliament. The declaration by Alban Bagbin, which made the NDC a majority in the House, is in line with Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution, which stipulates that a lawmaker must vacate his or her seat if they leave the party under which they were elected or attempt to remain in Parliament as an independent candidate. Alexander Apanyumarkin condemned the Speaker's latest decision to declare 4 seats vacant, calling it, quote, worst move yet, driven by an ambition to secure a second term.
Due process is always a preferred vehicle to achieve a means. That is why the old saying in law is that if all men find a man's hand in a tale, his guilt must be proven. Why that? To allow due process to take effect. So I don't expect you to say that, oh, MPP, you are caught by a particular provision in your constitution, so go by it. No. We are a political party operating with a constitution. So a person must also be heard. A person must be heard, no matter what. So don't let us get in there. But if Mr. Speaker had allowed the matters in issue to be properly determined, wouldn't be where we are. Because my question is, why the rush? In fact, what has become of the Harun Idrisu petition? He's rendered Harun Idrisu's petition odious. He's rendered it nugatory. It is like the Harun Idrisu application will lead to a due process being followed. So we don't want it. But when did we ever, you the media, you asking a question today, and I've not heard you on your platforms questioning Mr. Speaker on that route. When did a speaker ever allow a statement to metamorphose into a motion for him to rule on? Joy FM did not address this yesterday. When did a statement metamorphose into a motion for a ruling? Is it the case that there is no provision for what should be done when a statement is made? In any event, did what Atuforcing do meet the requirement of a statement under Order 93? They have placed something on nothing, and that is why it is falling, it's crashing. There is nothing. There is nothing that supports their actions.
And you heard there now Minority Leader Alexander Apanyomarkin. Noble Crosby Annan is my colleague in Parliament monitoring what's happening there. He joins us live on the line. Crosby, what more has Apanyomarkin been saying?
Well, Beatrice, the leader of the NPP group in Parliament, Apanyomarkin, he has been very emphatic about the position of the Speaker. He has been talking tough. He's been very direct with the conduct of the Speaker, and he says the Speaker did not act in good faith. In fact, he said the Speaker, with this level of experience, as he has been in Parliament for a very long time, taking the path that he did is unparliamentary, and this Parliament has seen one chaos after the other, often supported by the Speaker. And yesterday, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, did his worst because he wants to secure a second term. That's why he wants to remain in the good books of the NPP, so of the NDC, I beg your pardon, so that they vote for him when Parliament, after the 2024 December elections, when the next sitting of Parliament or session of Parliament reconvenes, Beatrice.
And of course, yesterday we heard the minority now telling us that they would not be part of this Parliament until the Supreme Court has declared a verdict on these stands. Did it look like they were going to stick to that?
Exactly, Beatrice. This is something they are sticking to. And in fact, they say that they are confident that the Supreme Court will declare a favorable verdict. However, the verdict, whichever way it goes from the Supreme Court, they will abide by it. They say that they respect the rule of law, and they are pursuing vigorously, his words, they are pursuing vigorously their case in court, and they're confident that a Supreme Court ruling will bring finality to all of the happenings yesterday. They are accusing the NDC of wanting to foment chaos. They do not like the rule of law. That is why they took the approach they did by to forcing declaring himself as now the majority leader in Parliament after the ruling by the Speaker. They say that the leader of the NPP caucus in Parliament is saying that they are sticking with their quest to pursue their case in the court. They are still boycotting proceedings until that is done.
Boycotting proceedings until that is done. Noble, I want you to hold on, because one other issue that has also come up is how the business of the government would fare in the House right now. And I know that there are a number of bills that are currently before the MPs in the House. I'll just read a few of them to you and ask you what kind of reactions you've gotten from there. We do know of the merger of the Water River Authority and Buipa Authority Bill 2024, also Competition Bill 2024, Nuclear Power Ghana Authority Bill 2024. There's also the Measure of Energy Commission and Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, Measure of Electricity Company of Ghana and Northern Electricity Distribution Company Bill 2024. And I'll just read that last bit to you. The tax waivers in excess of $350 million for 5 companies under the 1D1F. And the last one is actually one that the then minority, now majority, has said that it will fight vehemently against. What are the arguments around these bills before the House and how they would fare with NDC now becoming majority?
Well, Beatrice, so the Honourable Apanyomarkin is insisting that the NDC want to frustrate government business. You know that among the things you've read, there's also the approval of the Supreme Court judges who have been vetted and are supposed to be approved. Apanyomarkin is saying that the NDC does not want that to happen, hence they're taking this decision. And they're also saying that a lot of businessmen are supporting government's 1D1F project, and the projects will need approval from Parliament. And this is something that the NDC will not support, hence the NDC taking this route. And you know that the finance minister is also to present a budget before the House before appropriating. And he says that these are some of the things that the NDC will want to frustrate as part of frustrating government business, hence their need or their desire to be majority in Parliament, Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosby Annan. Here's our man in Parliament carrying all the drama actions there for us. Meanwhile, some electorates in the Greater Tamale Metropolis are heaping praises on Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu and the NDC caucus in Parliament for initiating a process that got the Speaker declaring 4 seats vacant. And Christopher Macon is our man in that part of the country. He joins us live now. Chris, just tell us more really about what the constituents of Tamale South in particular have been saying about what their MP has done.
Yes, so Beatrice, basically what they are saying is that over the period, the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Tamale South constituency has distinguished himself as an MP of the people, as an MP who cares about the people, and not only the people of the Tamale South constituency, but also the entire NDC fraternity. And so moving that petition that has seen some results, as it were, by getting the Speaker to rule and declaring the 4 seats vacant, is an indication that he's a true statesman of the NDC and also of the country. And all they are seeking now is that the NDC should take advantage of this opportunity and ensure that they put pressure on government to do the right things. Let's take a listen to what some of them have actually been saying.
If they say they will not go to Parliament, it's none of our business. We congratulate our members of Parliament. We congratulate the majority leader, our new majority leader, Honourable Afful, and all our parliamentarians for what? Standing on their grounds to make sure that this happens. We also will congratulate the Speaker of Parliament for going, going by the law. They are saying, the MPP, they say they believe in the rule of law. He went by the law and he ruled by the law, and the law stands.
Because Michael Quays, no, so yeah. Nti aba the bo techino, and the boba. Nti the pa because Speaker, why justice? There no. The whole country there, some more na justice. Etimi ye adwuma. Constitution no. Odi akire no twa case no fine there piano no where there Ghana nyina obia there am I who to pa because say be ya finchim your coalition obi antimi wi obia.
And you had there some residents and actually constituent of Tamale South, the constituency, the former minority leader Haruna Idrisu represent, praising him there for that action he took, resulting in the Speaker declaring 4 seats vacant and making the NDC now the majority in Parliament. Some 13 minutes past the hour of 12. This is still the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. When we come back, we'll tell you more about what the University Teachers Association of Ghana is doing to ensure that the government helps to end illegal mining. Stay with us.
Big money. Want more money, more moolah, more kudi, more sika, or more l'argent?
Yes.
Then win more moolah with 30 Ghana cedis free credit when you play Game Park's Pick 1 and Pick 4 games for the first time.
How?
Just dial *946# or visit the nearest Game Park agent to play, get your first bet, and win on us with a 30 Ghana cedi welcome bonus.
Oh, yes. It's all about the moolah.
Win more moolah with Game Park today. Go to GameParkGames.com for more information. Game Park is licensed by the NLA. Play responsibly. Not suitable persons under 18 years.
And you saw here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Now, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has called on the government to commence immediate prosecution of individuals arrested for illegal mining activities commonly known as galamsey. In a statement issued on Thursday, UTAG emphasized the need for swift and decisive action to deter others from engaging in illegal mining. The University Teachers Association of Ghana also advised its members to stay home until next week week when a new decision will be communicated to them. UTAG went on a unilateral strike after organized labor suspended its nationwide strike, which is expected to take effect from the 10th of October, that is this month. UTAG, in a communique, urged the government to take further decisive actions, and we joined. So let me just bring you a bit of those. That government must expand military task force to include forest reserves and farmlands to help ensure a comprehensive approach to stopping the destruction by illegal mining activities. Also, the UTAG expedites the government expedites parliamentary revocation of the LI 2462 to curb mining in forest reserves. It also went on to ask the government to commence immediate prosecution of individuals arrested for engaging in illegal mining activities, and also urged the government to engage UTAG to discuss proposals on how to fight illegal mining while promoting responsible and sustainable mining for inclusive development. Dr. Ilyas Mumuni is the General Secretary of UTAG. He joins me live on the line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Beatrice, for having me. Good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Doc, UTAG is asking the government to commence immediate prosecution of individuals arrested for illegal mining activities, right? Can you emphasize a bit more on this? Because we heard the Attorney General recently telling us that some cases were already before the court, meaning that they had been arrested and been taken through the processes.
Yes, so we acknowledge that, and what we are doing is basically to add our voice for government to speed up the process, because oftentimes when you are tackling a challenge like this, you really need some critical examples for others to emulate or, know that should they be caught, these are some of the outcomes that they may also be facing. And so we think that speeding up the court, cases will help the fight. In addition to that, we also emphasize that per the engagements with the media in terms of what is being discussed, the task force actually explained that basically their mandate at the moment is to focus on those involved around the water body areas. And as such, the forest reserve areas are just not part of their mandate. And we think that looking at the level of destruction that we've all witnessed, the forest reserve as well as the water bodies are all part of the broader sphere for which these illegal practices are happening. And such, government has to expand, the mandate of the task force by increasing first the numbers of the military officers, as well as giving them these additional mandates to, expand to the forest areas in such a way that at least we can have a reduction of this particular activity. That is what we call it. We also...
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, we were also saying that the process for revocation has actually started regarding the LI 2462. We underscore how bureaucratic that can really come through, but we think that speeding up the process will help, because at the end of the day, those who are already mining and those who really have applied and have had their license been offered or probably been worked on, waiting for finalization, we think the revocation will have implications for all of that, and that can greatly help the cause. And so that is another request we made of government. And the other part was our availability to partner, especially when it comes to research and offering alternative solutions that are permanent and long-term in nature.
Indeed, I was actually coming to that. We do understand that UTAG wants to take the lead in developing the national pact on the fight against illegal mining with the presidential candidate ahead of the December 7 elections. Is that right?
Yes, please.
Tell us how you intend to do that and what kind of collaboration or cooperation you've had so far.
Yes, so far we are still engaging. You recall the communique emanating from the presidency actually had this particular issue been captured, and that has to do with a non-partisan national pact, committing all flag bearers or political parties into the fight of Galamsey. And so we already now in this striking mode, offered to put together this pact that reflects both community, regulatory, civil society as an activism, advocacy, and then those, for instance, National Development Planning Commission, everyone on board coming to make sure that we are able to have a pact signed that commits every other leader today and tomorrow in terms of medium to long term. That way, we wouldn't have anyone trying to exploit it politically. And even if we are to still go ahead in allowing these small-scale miners, and not just small-scale miners, any other one involved in it in that illegal form, we should be able to follow through the framework that allows for responsible and sustainable practices.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Dr. Ilyasu Mumuni. He's the General Secretary of UTAC, giving us the view of UTAC there and some of the steps they intend to take. Now, there's uneasy calm in Boko following the lifting of an arrest warrant on the Boko Naba Na Alhaji Seidu Abagri Kulga II. Security agencies in the region are on high alert to deal with possible disturbances due to the court action. On February 15, 2023, the overlord of the Mamprugu traditional area, Na Mahami Abdullah Sheriga II, enshrined Na Seidu Abagri as the 15th paramount chief of the Boko area. The enskinment fanned tensions in the troubled town, compelling the government to issue a statement to condemn the enskinment and placed an arrest warrant on the head of the paramount chief. The arrest warrant followed a failed attempt by soldiers to effect an arrest on the overlord in Nanlergu, and Castro Senyala is a man in that part of the country. He also joins us live. Castro, can you tell us how residents are reacting to the Kumasi Appeals Court decision to lift this arrest warrant?
Yes, Beatrice, let me first of all start by saying that even though there's a bit of uneasy calm within the Boko area, there seems to be some relative peace considering the fact that security agencies are everywhere and manning all spots to ensure that nothing untoward happens. But then now, going back to the question, yes, so I've got some intel from security agencies who have told me that there appears to be some level of uneasy calm following the lifting of the warrant on the head of the paramount chief was obtained last year. There appears to be unhappiness among a cross section of the people of Boko who seem to say that the state is not doing what they say they are for, which is they've condemned the enskinment of the chief, and so they feel that the state should have gone forward to act on the condemnation by arresting to bring peace, or as part of efforts to ensure that the issue is resolved amicably once and for all.
Whilst this is going on, Castro, we also do understand that the security agencies led by the regional minister, last week met various security heads, and also there's a march going on. Is this a sign of showing solidarity, as it were, among the various security agencies?
Right. This is to, like you said, show solidarity and also to prepare for any opportunity circumstances that would occur in any part of the Upper East region. First of all, regards to the Boko issues, and also to regards to the elections that is just some few weeks away. According to the security agencies, they need every sort of readiness to be able to, sort of contain violence as far as the elections is concerned, and to ensure that everyone is safe. The elections are conducted in a free and fair environment within the Upper East region and in fact, the entire country. I have to speak now. We just ended that march through Principal Street of Bogatanga, where the message has been clear that though the security agencies have differences or they have diversities, they stand for one thing, and that is to protect and ensure that the lives of provocative Ghanaians are protected and kept safe.
Thank you very much, Castro Senyala. He's a man in the Upper East region. Now, the funeral for Edward Saki, the 18-year-old student from the Raleigh Senior High School who tragically lost his life due to an alleged stabbing on campus, is currently taking place at his family home in Spintex. Family and friends are in deep shock as they gather to honor his memory. Joseph Armstrong is joining us live now. He is at that event. He joins us live. Joseph, just really tell us what the atmosphere is like at this moment.
Yeah, Beatrice, currently we've moved to the cemetery now where there was nearly another tragic incident that could have claimed the life of another young one who was sitting at the back of a pickup truck speeding, and unfortunately he fell off from the truck and immediately went unconscious, and they have to rush him to the hospital here at the cemetery. But the funeral is just coming to an end now as the body is being lowered into the grave, with many more people still in shock, crying, and wish this event never took place in the first place. So, as it stands right now, family members have been talking to the media, and all they are seeking for now is justice for their son, who has to end his life this way. And the situation here, the pastors are just trying to call on the family members to at least temper justice to mercy, and then ensure that they do not push much further. Just allow the laws to take its course, taking the laws into their own hands. So Beatrice is currently here at the Nungwa Cemetery. Many more family members trooping into the cemetery and the graveyard to pay their last respects to the 18-year-old Edward, who's currently been buried.
Quite sad there, but Joseph, can you tell us really earlier, before you went to the cemetery, how we've seen, if you're watching us on Facebook, we're showing you some videos from the funeral ground, I believe. Just tell us more about, how you even experienced what was happening at the place.
So, Beatrice, at the funeral ground where you see many more of the students from O'Reilly gathered, particularly those who were in the same class with him. You may recall, he's a final year student who, after the exams, that authentication happened and leading to the stabbing and that ending his life. At the funeral ground, you see many more of the students taking over the place, and we also have some police personnel coming around to ensure that there's law and order. The atmosphere and mood at the place is a very solemn one where anybody, even myself, at the point I always shed tears because of how people were just crying and sharing the experiences with the young man. They explained that was a very calm man. And then another issue I picked up was that the guy at the center of the stabbing, the guy who allegedly did the stabbing, we are told is a very close friend to this young man who is being laid to rest today. They were very close friends until the day the stabbing happened, and it's rather unfortunate. And many more have come to say that, yes, they know these two guys, they are very good friends. Unfortunately, they have to end their lives separately, with Edward being laid to rest today, and also the other young man currently at the graves of the police, currently serving a remand, waiting for the final judgment from the court. Beatrice.
Thank you very much, Joseph Armstrong, bringing us update from the funeral ground of that 18-year-old O'Reilly Senior High School student who was stabbed to death. Thank you for those updates. Now, Kumasi is set to witness one of the most significant political events in recent years as the Ashanti Regional chapter of the Movement for Change and the Alliance for Revolutionary Change prepares for the highly anticipated Afra Franto Mega Victory Walk. Tomorrow, the walk will be led by independent presidential candidate Alan Kwadwo Tremantin, popularly known as Alan Cash, who occupies the number 13 spot on the ballot paper. Now, Alan Tremantin has been vocal about his commitment to leading the charge for change in Ghana, urging residents of the Ashanti region to show up in full force.
Premier Alan John Kwadwo Tremantin, founder and leader, Movement for Change. Midday, may turn Safre, Afful, I was Santimantitu, and the Ghana for 9 say, Madame Mumbo Michidom, ye Benanti, Atetiapum, war, Kumasi Abontinso, ye Shasia, Ewo, Kumasi Culture Center, Nosia Pepe, na ya Nantia, Media Kurie, Kumasi Mo, we the great Afra Franto Mega Victory Walk. mesre nuanom ni adofo se mboba mu chidom na nkunimdie kase nam kwan so ba ewo abato na ye ba beto December onyame abeto nsupa guso na ye hwehwe no abamu. Movement for change, Ghana will rise again.
And you heard independent candidate and leader of the Movement for Change, Alan Kwadwo Tremanting there. Thank you very much for joining us today on the news. My name is Beatrice Adu. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. Coming up shortly is Business Daily with Manu. Afful. Do stay.
FM 92.7.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.
Imagine a place where voices matter, where every corner, every street, every community is a platform.
A big bus moving through Accra, carrying conversations, questions, and the pulse of the nation. This is not just another show, it's your voice on the move.
Join us as 3FM Sunrise hits the road, turning ordinary streets into platforms for extraordinary dialogue. Speak freely, listen deeply, and help shape the conversation that drives Ghana forward.
Look out for the bus and tune in exclusively on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
Election Command Center. Facts, analysis, results.
Hey, ready to make your drive home epic? It's the 3FM Drive with the one and only Giovanni Killen right here on 3FM 92.7. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're transforming your commute into a top-tier experience. Need a pick-me-up? Our music belt is pure energy, pure vibes. Stay ahead with the Drive Sports, bringing you the latest scores and highlights. Curious about the stars? We've got all the hottest trends, celebrity profile interviews, plus DJ faculty has got you.
Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays on 3FM Drive. You know where it's at.
This is where the action is at, live on the 3FM Drive on 3FM 92.7. Welcome to the 3FM Drive. That's right!
3FM 92.7. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. My name is Manu. Afful. Now, coming up, Director of ISE highlights the urgent need to combat illicit financial flows to strengthen the city and boost economic growth.
To really address illicit financial flows, we have to seal the borders, infuse technology, digitalization, so that every transaction is tracked.
Plus, the Institute of Energy Security, IES, expresses disappointment over the lack of commitment to revitalize the Tema oil refinery in the manifestos of both the NPP and NDC, focusing instead on import efficiency.
Today, we can admit that Toll is becoming a storage tank farm and not a refinery. And so we should not expect our fuel supply reliability hinge on Toll or domestic production.
We have details of these stories and more lined up for you. Please stay. now let's get into the details. Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Korte, has emphasized the importance of combating illicit financial flows to strengthen the local currency and promote economic growth. He noted that significant funds leave the country illegally, which undermines the stability of the city and hampers domestic revenue mobilization.
A lot of informal activities underground economy takes place, and we are not able to track. If we are to digitalize most of our systems, our financial systems, you cannot, in other jurisdictions, you cannot change money into any foreign currency without supplying your passport, without going through the documentation. If you receive money above a certain threshold, they will track you, they will ask you. In our case, people carry money in suitcases and get out of the country. Our borders are porous. So to really address illicit financial flows, we have to seal the borders. We have to infuse technology, digitalization, so that every transaction is tracked. By so doing, even the foreign companies, they are also complicit in this. We're able to track how much they transfer, and that will help us.
Meanwhile, Professor Korte has also highlighted the importance of developing both human and natural resources to drive growth. He cautioned that at the current growth rate, it could take Ghana over 2 decades to achieve high income status unless new measures are implemented.
Given the rate at which we are growing, it will take us 26 years to break from the low middle income to upper or higher middle income. So that's where the intentionality comes in. What will you do? Intentionally decide that I'm going to pursue these policies, support my investment in certain key areas. One thing we lack is transformation, transforming from agriculture has been rain-fed, agriculture has been exporting raw materials. We haven't changed much. So being intentional means being intentional about irrigation, being intentional about adding value, being intentional about exporting more of processed materials than raw materials, being intentional about even training itself, not just training manpower for clerical duties, but also training STEM education, all the things that we need to make sure our industries and all the other sectors become productive.
Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Korte there. Now, the Institute of Energy Security, IES, has expressed disappointment regarding the future of Tema Oil Refinery, TOR. Executive Director Nana Amoisi noted that both the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress have failed to address the revitalization of TOR in their manifestos, focusing instead on improving their efficiency of imported finished products, leaving little hope for the national refinery's revival. Additionally, IES raised concerns about the effectiveness of the government's Gold for Oil initiative in positively impacting the energy sector.
We were told that the first 6 months of Gold for Oil program, BOSS is going to control more than 50% of the market. It's been more than 1.5 years. BOSS is not controlling more than 36% of that market. So if others control about 60%, who is influencing the markets? The one controlling 35% or the one that's controlling more than 60%. I think that will be more cushioned by the private importers. Unfortunately, something that we didn't see captured in the manifesto is about TOR. It wasn't mentioned. And so today we can admit that TOR is becoming a storage tank farm and not a refinery. And so we should not expect our fuel supply reliability hinge on TOR or domestic production, but more on importation.
You heard Executive Director of the Institute of Energy Security, Nana Amoisi, the 7th there. Now, in a related development, President of Chief Executive of the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, Mavis Owusu-Gyamfi, is calling on governments to concentrate on building areas of the economy where Ghana has comparative advantage. She stressed that it will take deliberate efforts to develop the economy and move it to a high-income country. She's urging that the country develops the entire value chain of its industries, leveraging the opportunities of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement to ensure sustainability.
If we want to build a cotton value chain where we go from raw cotton all the way to clothes, whereby we are not importing the fabric that we use to make these outfits. It's appalling that we are importing fabric like that. But we're really trying to build the companies that are producing those textiles locally at all levels, high end, middle end, low end. If we are serious about it, it's not going to take 1 or 2 years. It's going to take 5 to 10 years, because the ambition isn't just to produce for Ghana or for Africa. The ambition should be, we are building a textile value chain that can compete in the world, can create jobs, really ensure people have access to decent jobs, improve living standards. And the only way we can do it is we have a game plan over a number of years. We have the right technology, the right skills, the right support, the right business.
President and Chief Executive of the Africa Center for Economic Transformation, Mavis Owusu-Gyamfi there. Well, that will be all for Business Daily here on 3FM and 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's www.3news.com. I am Manu. Afful. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.